The infinite field of abundance is your birthright. The infinite field is the essence of who and what you are before anything else. It is that which through all is birthed. It is that which through all can become. All is made manifest. When you see yourself, you do not see the complete picture. You do not see every aspect and possibility, yet your soul does. The soul knows what is coming to fruition, what is of greatest achievement, true alignment, true achievement, and what is actually in alignment with your soul's purpose. Through the soul's purpose, the abundance and expansion of the life force can become. All that you are desiring is a pathway of golden light within you that registers as a spark of DNA, that which you are unfurling and blossoming, petaling like a beautiful blooming flower. Through the cultivation of the honey, the bee can come creating that honey. The creative force, the bee, can be birthed and be the builder of your experience. Hi everyone, my name is Bex Sahasrara and I'm really excited today to talk with you about the expression or journey of money, wealth, abundance, finances, whatever our word is for that, through the lens and association with angels or the angelic forces. I was just channeling some of the highest, most beautiful angels around abundance, and they are going to talk through me at times and kind of just work through me, whilst I also share with you the journey of transformation that abundance is through my own experience, but to help you with yours. From the angel's perspective and from our entire life itself, God's perspective, abundance is your absolute birthright. It really is the childhood, I'm hearing spirit say, the childhood innocence coming into its greatest expression. There's kind of this repeating image that I want to tell you about clairvoyantly, which is you or me, like a person that's got your aura, the egg-shaped field of light around you, but the aura as like these beautiful golden lines, like a grid, like a hash grid. Okay, and this is just the kind of energetic metaphor, but also energetic reality. Oh my goodness, so beautiful. For that which you impress upon that grid, that which you wish to cultivate, that which you wish to manifest or birth, embody, all of those things. Cultivate, manifest, birth, embody, all the same things, right? And this grid is in this kind of conversation today. It is the field of abundance, the infinite field of abundance. This infinite field of abundance is the actual current reality of the God force that exists in every moment, in all things, in every speck of light that you see around you. This is actually the truth. I keep getting cat fur on my lips because I love my cats too much and I kiss them. So, an infinite field of cat fur. Oh my God. That's my reality as well. Okay. But there is an infinite field of abundance that you can impress upon all that you wish. And I remember one day when I was literally crying on my bed, praying/crying and complaining and crying to spirit about financial challenges that I was having. And I remember I was like half asleep, half awake, which is a common time that spirit will talk to me, and also a good idea for you to talk to your guides. And they were telling me, this is where I learned about the infinite field of abundance. And I remember spirit said to me, there is an infinite field of abundance. All millionaires know this truth. And that is the case. That is what I'm talking to you about today. And that was the first time that I really, like, I guess in a much more embodied way, not just a mental concept, I really understood that there literally is this eternal nature or infinity that is all around us, and that it is only by just, for using the metaphor of money, right? This could be applied to any manifestation. But if you say, okay, I want $100,000, 100K, that's a certain frequency that needs to be impressed upon that infinite field of abundance. And you vibrate it, And then that infinite field of abundance, it already exists. It already infinitely, eternally there. You have to vibrate it, and then you are, I guess, in spirit saying like engulfed by that energy or by that frequency. You saturate yourself in it. And the kind of picture that I was given around like all millionaires know this is that they know that how simple it is, basically, how simple it is. That you can think of that which you desire, you can think of the amount that you want to manifest, or wealth, or anything you're manifesting, as we say. In this case, we'll keep it on money. But you can manifest that just by thinking it and then acting in alignment to that frequency, aka embodying that frequency. And that's it. That's how simple it is. The infinite field of abundance is wording and a picture to show you that everything already exists, that it actually already exists, and that the only thing that exists is abundance. This was again like when I was lying on my bed, kind of receiving that and kind of crying at the same time, and kind of half asleep at the same time. That was when I also was really, in an embodied way, landed with the initiation of there is only ever more. There is no such thing as lack, and that basically lack is a lie. And I have seen this in a couple of times of visions where it's a really important truth for humanity to hopefully one day all of us fully grasp, okay, that the idea of lack is actually a imprisoning like belief system or program, however you want to put it. That one vision I saw was literally like an overlay of these bars that in this case they were a metaphor for the imprisonment of lack that was coming over like me as a person at that time when I was healing that in my own aura. But also I was shown how it was a collective issue and how it's literally over everybody, and that this is a lie. And I was shown how fucking like see-through and fragile that is. I think my exposure just went a bit funny. Did my exposure just go a bit funny? Anyway, it's going to be a bit of a funny exposure because it's winter afternoon here, but I just really felt to film anyways, and I'm sure you guys will still receive the transmission. So this idea, okay, that there is a infinite field of abundance, or a field of infinite abundance that always is, no matter what. It is eternal, it is infinite, and that's the only thing that actually exists. And the idea that B, the illusion of those bars, the illusion of lack, is just that. It's an illusion. It actually isn't real. But it is a kind of like program that darkness feeds upon. You know, this is something that entities feed upon. It is it is a way that humanity as a collective has been held, you know, imprisoned ourselves by choosing to keep believing it and being victim to it. It is a way that we have been suppressing our sovereignty. Sovereignty meaning I have the responsibility, the freedom. I'm a sovereign creator. I have the freedom and responsibility that which all I create is my creation. All that I experience is my creation. Because the highest, deepest truth is that we are sovereign creators, even when we've felt victimized, even when other vibrations or external things have been pressed upon us, put upon us, or enslaved upon us. Ultimately, you can only be affected by those things if there's a part of you that is matching it and is believing it. And as soon as we recognize that aspect of ourselves, we have the freedom and the choice to then actually become sovereign in that, you know, that vibration or that topic or that belief. As soon as you become conscious of something, okay, now it's your 100% responsibility. You can't call yourself a victim anymore, because every time now that you're aware of it, you are consciously choosing it. And so you need to choose something different. So abundance is our truest reality. And so healing from lack and healing from scarcity and coming into sovereignty, it is not so much about kind of like trying to get abundance. It's actually about realizing that it's always been there, and that lack is the illusion that needs to die. That the only experience is more. And again, I learned this through having that experience of a lot of lack, and also associated with like many areas of life, and really seeing that through the metaphor. Another metaphor that I'll give is that life and death, okay, death is another illusion. Death is not real. And this is going to make sense in a minute. So when something dies, as you know, if you're a spiritual being, life continues. Like spiritually, it continues. It may change form. It may completely be initiated into some other form. But that energy of that life, or a person or a thing, whatever, life energy never dies. It changes, it rebirths, and to a point of change that we've given that change a name, and we call it death. And in death is very similar. We call it lack, we call it absence, but it isn't. It's just change. It's just more life. So that's what I'm saying about money as well. There is only ever more. When you spend money, you are gaining something. You're gaining like whatever you bought and the blessing and the resource of whatever you bought. You can never lose money, just like you can never lose your life. You can only experience that energy in a new or different way. So when somebody dies, their soul continues. So this message, or this core thing of there is only more. There's only more. There is no such thing as lack. There is no such thing as loss. There is only moreness. All that exists is that infinite field of abundance. If you want the shortcut to healing your wounding around abundance, it is to really embody and understand this concept. If you can erase the program of lack, the illusion and delusion of lack, you will set yourself free. Okay? And then, so when we free ourselves from that lack, it doesn't mean that like, okay, I don't believe in it anymore, and now suddenly I've got like $1 bajillion, or I'm out of reality that like I have $2 and that, oh, there's no such thing as lack, so actually I have $1 bajillion. Practically, physically, we can still acknowledge that that's not what I have. But the way that you're going to feel and the way that you're going to vibrate in relation to that perceived, or what once was perceived as lack, is now actually going to be in alignment with God, which is, I have $2, which practically I can spend, and that is a form of abundance. And I know that behind that $2, let's say, in this way I'm trying to paint a picture with you, behind that is actually millions and infinite money. The only thing that exists is infinite money. And all I need to do is become a vibrational match to that particular like amount that I might perceive that I need practically. So when you understand these concepts, you actually are going to be freeing yourself into the highest point of sovereignty that you can with freedom. So because money is, I'm listening to spirit here for a minute. Money is an essence of life in that we've used it to, it is energy, basically. What we just said about energy applies, that there is only ever more. Because of that, you cannot like even get rid of money. You cannot even do anything. It's always here. Money is all around you. Money is all around you in everything that you are. Looking at everything that you might own right now, that is your money in form. It didn't go anywhere. It's stuck with you and you can't get rid of it. So one of the aspects that I'm hearing the angels speak about now regarding money is the aspect of trust, and the sense, I'm hearing spirit, the sense of and the perceived illusion and kind of dedication to this illusion, to the form that it can be an identity, that money or life has betrayed you, that money or life has left you. This is where the energy of forgiveness is paramount and essential. So when we go through lack, and again, sticking with money, but you could apply it to any form, when we go through lack, there is a loss of trust. There's an implied absence of our trust that money is still there, or that life is still there for me. Now I'm like, a lot of us, we have this unconscious feeling that money has left me, money has abandoned me, and that's contributing to our sense of loss. And again, recognizing that spirit is saying your human allows this truth to become truth, but it isn't. And there's such a even in the words when I say that, is such a discord in that energy, like it's uncomfortable to even speak that. And that's the angels showing us just how out of alignment that is and how not spiritually true that is. That your life will never leave you. Your money will never leave you. It is all of you. It is always you. Let's see what else the angels want to say. Choosing your perspective. Choosing your perspective is a pathway to freedom. Alchemizing the fear, resistance that you have to ultimately just choosing a different perspective. We tend to think, again, I'm listening and channeling spirit, we tend to think that our ideas and these lies are true. We get really caught up in them and we're like, this is true. And there's actually an interesting energy of almost like wanting to adopt that and wanting to be a victim in that. There's this part of us that doesn't want to accept the true infinite nature of God, of money, and of love, ultimately of love. Why? Because we have an addiction to believing that we're unworthy. Why? Because if you accept it, if you did accept that there's always infinite life and you've never been abandoned and all of that, what's that going to do? In our human system, in your emotional system, that's going to cause you to have to reckon with and face the fact that, oh my goodness, I have always been worthy. I have never been left. I've never been abandoned. So who am I? Like my ego is going to melt under that. Like all the negative beliefs that you have built your ego upon related to that is going to have to dissolve. And there's kind of like a crying child inside that's like, no, that's not true, because if that's true, that means that mummy and daddy didn't love me. So many people, we are keeping our negative beliefs with the glue. You always have to find the glue or the stickiness. And the glue is often something we don't want to feel. If you accept that you are infinitely worthy, infinitely abundant, and life has always loved you, and life has always loved you, therefore you've always been worthy. Now you have to grieve the fact and face the reality that you haven't been treated as you should have for your whole life by, our childhood trauma. I'm pointing to just your childhood trauma. And that causes people to feel this sense of loss and grief and betrayal under that reality. And it also causes the identity and ego dissolution that's required to have a whole new identity that is not built on pain, that is not built on your suffering or your illusions or delusions, and is built on your divinity. Our ego is kind of resistant to that a lot of the time. But you have to decide, I'm going to face all of these things because I want to be free. Is it worth it to you to keep that false identity and at the cost being your freedom? And we reach a certain point in our suffering that we say, okay, no, it's not worth it anymore. My suffering is too great. And that's when we let go. That's when we let go of the negative beliefs or the pain and actually let it wash through us. And Spirit and the angels are bringing this up because this is a core crux of many people's complexes with money, is accepting the reality of God. Because again, money is energy, is life, is God. Money is love, is God. God is money, God is love. Because we've made money this representative or symbol and tool for all forms of energy. So all of your mental hang-ups related to all those concepts I just listed, God, life, the universe, love, they're all going to be reflected in your relationship and associations with money. Okay? So when you are meeting with the layers of healing your money wounding, you're going to be meeting with all those things. And, love can involve your parents and things like that. Life is going to involve things like safety and security, your connection to life or lack thereof. And God may bring up stuff around religion and your spirituality. All of these things tend to be what people are meeting with when you heal your connection with money. And it's really important that Spirit's saying it's really important that we get this crux point where we have an over identification with our painful, unsovereign, weaker self. With weakness is what Spirit is saying. Again, looking at the question of, okay, if I was super powerful and I was always wealthy and infinitely wealthy, and that's the truth, what does that mean for me? What does that cause me to have to let go of in my identity, in my beliefs? What relationships are now out of alignment? What does that cost me? There's a cost to the ego when you come into and you step into higher self or essence. There's a loss to the ego. And the only way that you're going to heal is if you get into that glue and you become willing to die to that. Your ego has to become willing to die to that. And yeah, it's challenging, and it's the human experience, and there's a pathway of alchemy for that. And I want to say too here, I'll be guided to say too here that for a lot of us, we want to like have healed this money stuff yesterday, right? The thing is that, again, thinking about those associations that I said that money is associated with for us, life, God, love, la la la, can you see how that is going to be a journey? Like, overnight you can have breakthroughs, but also it's going to be a journey. And it's the same for our entire life and our whole personal and spiritual development journey. There is always more to expand upon, and you will reach different levels of the acceptance of the infinite field of abundance, different levels of manifested wealth, so actually holding money and stuff like that. And there'll be another layer for you to evolve through. Money is a teacher of life and of God and of your own essence and your own being. And the highest form of abundance is a God form of abundance. Now, again, Spirit is guiding this, what I'm saying now. Humans are often questioning of this when they see people who are spiritually unwell, who do not have a healthy magnetism, accumulate a lot of wealth. Spirit is saying, like, we should be perceiving that as they're accumulating a lot of debt. They're accumulating a lot of energetic or spiritual debris and debt. There are multiple ways that you can manifest money, just like you could manifest anything, healthfully or unhealthfully, spiritually in alignment or out of alignment. And the core vibration of frequency that you manifest from, that your manifestations are seeded from, is what you will ultimately create through that. There are so many people, let's take like the really dark people in this world, like the Bill Gates of the world, and people who are very sick spiritually and they have all the money and stuff. They are going to pay the cost of that spiritually. The way that, companies can make a product that's super cheap and they've got no soul in it and they've just like want to get a lot of money through that. There's no soul or light or alignment coming through that. The money that they create and then what they create with the money that they have, in some form, in some way, karmically meaning just through mirror vibration, law of attraction, they are going to be manifesting and experiencing vibrationally or emotionally, if not consciously, then unconsciously, or in their death or in their next life, whatever. They're going to be creating more of like that low vibration, that soulless vibration. So, you might be wondering like, well, I'm a good person, like I deserve the money and stuff like that. People who are creating money from alignment and wealth, soul wealth, there is often more work to do. It can be simple and easy to create money from like a mental space or a soulless place or a dark place, taking advantage of others, but you're going to pay the cost spiritually and emotionally. And you're watching this video because you're interested in creating aligned wealth and soul wealth that serves you and nurtures you. That's the only kind of wealth that you truly want to build. You do not want to accumulate debt by doing things that are soul sucking or taking advantage of other people's souls, life force energy. So, speaking to that is important. I'm listening to Spirit. Oh, wait, I hear music. Hang on. Okay, so live channeling here. Angels often, they have an energy of music because it's so pure. It's like sound, and it's coming through as sound instead of words right now. I think that's just, they're saying it's just a clearing that's coming through for all of us. That's really cool. Thank you. Yeah, an energetic clearing. Okay, so they're talking about coming back to the heart and coming back to the truth of money and the truth of the essence of that. And that is that your heart should guide the process. Your heart should be the leader of your life. Your heart is the place of fulfillment. And when you think about wealth, that's what you're really wanting. When we want money and we want to have a certain amount of money or achieve certain things through that money, we really want to feel fulfillment in our life and our soul's fulfillment, the overflowing of our own essence through, like, when I have a lot of wealth, I'm overflowing in my soul's wealth, and I can express more of my essence through the freedom that money allows me to, like, manifest physically, buy physically, build physically. And then I'm anything that I manifest or buy, it should be something that is going to build me more soul wealth, maybe in the form of more money, for example through investments, or through service. There's an exchange there, or maybe just that thing gets me more time, which allows me to nurture myself more and builds my soul's wealth, things like that. So coming into alignment with the true nature of money, that it is infinite, it's always there, and there is nothing more to it, that it is that simple. This is going to achieve and alleviate the resolve and dissolving of blocks. Okay? It's going to achieve the alleviation, I should say, and the dissolving of blocks. So I'd be curious how that is going to go for you guys. The next time you have any challenge with money, try on thinking like, okay, it's an infinite field of abundance. How does that change my perspective of the way I'm perceiving and vibrating right now in this experience? I'm going to see if the angels want to say anything else. There's just such a beautiful vibration of beauty and grace, perfection. And the vibrational message there is that perfection is your natural state of being. Perfection of this life is all that is. And through perceiving things that way, your relationship with money on this topic today, you're going to create more peace and stability inside of yourself, and then therefore be naturally more of a magnetic match and attraction point for greater wealth to come through you. Okay. So thank you for being here today. Message me on Instagram at the Beck Sahasrara about your thoughts about this video, any questions, or if you're interested in working together one-on-one. I help women come into a greater empowerment of your full feminine force in your soul's purpose or business, and a range of other things for men and women. And it's lovely to see you.